How strong is your scaffolding? We know that our students come to us with a variety of strengths and weaknesses, and also a variety of background knowledge and experiences. What's that one thing or that group of things that we want our students to be able to do? Our goal for students is for them to be engaged. We want students to be engaged in what they're doing. We want them to be independent. We want them to be able to do the work on their own. And we want them to be empowered. We want them to be confident that they know what to do and that they know what's being asked of them. But how? What does that look like in your social studies classroom? Let's take a look. Here you see two images, George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. We often ask students to do a source analysis. We ask students to answer questions like, what do you see? What do you think? What do you wonder? And then we ask students to make comparisons. How are these two people the same? How are they different? How are their lives like my life? How are their lives different than my life? What would happen if we put some scaffolding in place for our students? What might that look like? You see this little strip on the bottom. It has some picture support and some bolded words to draw students' attention to. What do you see? What do you think? What do you wonder? What is the same and what is different? I would run this on cardstock for my students and give them a copy to put in their social studies notebook or in their social studies toolkit to use as they're working with partners and also as they're studying images. Let's take a look at what that might look like with those images that we just talked about. What do you see? As students look at the two images, they could use the visual prompt to see what they see or what they notice in those images. Then they could move to what they think. What do you think is happening? Or what do you think you know about them? And then what do you wonder? What questions do you still have? What's the same about the two individuals? Or how is their life the same as my life? Or different? What's different about the two individuals? Or what's different from their life and my life? Here are a few more examples of different kinds of prompts you could use with your students. There are many, many, many more to choose from. On the top, you see a sensory analysis. That's where students do what do you see? What do you taste? What do you touch? What do you smell? What do you hear when looking at an image or an artifact? In the middle, you see who's in the picture, when's it happening, when was it, where is it, and why is it happening? And then lastly, that organizer that we just looked at. But wait, don't forget, none of the prompts will do any good if you have not modeled how to use them. Make sure that you're modeling how to use that prompt as a whole group and then in small groups before turning it over to your students to do independent or partner work. We would love for you to join us on Godot Community. You can use the barcode here or join us on Facebook. You also see my email is there on the screen.